Today we're going to talk a lot about the cloud, specifically Microsoft Azure. But before we dive into that, we'll kind of do a baseline and we'll just talk a little bit about Cloud 101, what you should know going into learning about the cloud and its offerings. All right, we'll start with the three foundational, what I like to call pillars of the cloud, and they are abbreviated as IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. A lot of you might have heard of this already, but we'll break it down a little bit. We'll start with IaaS, Infrastructure-as-A-Service. And what this is spinning up environments in the cloud with a cloud provider. This gives you a near total control over the environment. And some examples of this would be Azure virtual machines, an entire virtual network infrastructure, or setting up Active Directory and domains in the cloud. And at the bottom of each of these pillars, if you will, I've added some word associations to help you kind of conceptualize what it is that you're doing within each of these. And for infrastructure as a service, I want you to think about your environment or a setup. Moving into PaaS, Platform as a Service, these are going to be the tools that you use to build something greater, kind of your platforms to build out applications. And some example of these are Azure's SQL Data Warehouse, Azure SQL Database, Azure HD Insight, and Azure Machine Learning. And just to kind of relate Platform as a Service to Infrastructure as a Service, sure, Platform as a Service, you have Azure's HD Insight, which is a Hadoop cluster on the cloud. But at the same time, you could take Infrastructure as a Service kind of components, virtual machines, and build your cluster on your own. Why would you do that when you have Azure HD Insight? They make it easy for you, right? The word associations I want you to think about are the tools or building something with Platform as a Service. And finally, SaaS, Software as a Service. This is a further abstraction away where you're getting specific services or software in or provided by a cloud provider. An example of this would be Office 365, Salesforce, or the Azure portal, where you can manage your SaaS implementations with an SaaS product. So think about a specific product or using something right off the bat. So definitions aside, what is it really, right? So I'm going to give you my attempt at a definition, which is it's a hosted environment using other people's hardware. Website and hosting companies have been doing this for years, so what's really the difference? I like to think of it as a constantly evolving hosted suite of infrastructure, platforms, and software that are used to build new applications and environments. And one of the big shifts now is that a lot of these products are geared towards data consumption, reporting, and interconnectivity rather than just strictly spinning up virtual machines or provisioning resources in the cloud. Here, some of the benefits to moving into the cloud, which there are numerous, just to highlight a few here would be, the ability to scale rapidly. What we like to do when working in Azure for clients is starting with a minimal viable product, and what will get us to the results quickest while costing the least. And once we do that, you can poke and prod at the environment to kind of build that infrastructure up or scale that service up if you need to. The second bullet point here, secure Azure cloud providers make it really easy to secure your environment through different network security groups, firewall settings. You don't need a dedicated team of IT network engineers to set your environment up in the cloud. Microsoft and other cloud providers make it really easy to get started with a secure environment in their clouds. Another benefit here is redundancy, the ability to not only back up your infrastructure or environments in a secure kind of backup environment, but you can do it in a geographically dispersed manner, meaning you can set up an infrastructure in a U.S. East region and also have that replicated to a U.S. West region where, not only does that provide you the ability to fail over in case of disaster, but it allows you to spread out your resources in case you do need to have a separate node for your West customers than your East customers. And finally, another benefit is to reduce the cost. When you're working in a cloud provider, you are paying monthly or some other kind of breakdown for your software, and so you can spin up your resource when you want it and spin it down when you don't, and you're only paying for uptime on certain pieces of your infrastructure.